Hello guys, for another episode of Omnipotent Growth with Kal. Today we have a special guest, Nikolay Kazmin. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship and how to be a leading figure in the entrepreneurial world. So to start off, I want to introduce our guest a little bit. He's co-founder and chief technology officer of Domestina, which is a company that is a platform for booking cleaning services that connect users with cleaning firms and companies. Nicky is also a graduate in the EMBA program. He had all the honors in the end of the program. He was the best student, and really we learned a lot from him, and he showed a lot of great working ethic and also a lot of humility and empathy through all the course. So, Nicky, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Hello guys, thank you for the great introduction and thank you for having me here. Alright, do you want the long story or the shorter version?
We want your story.
Alright, I'm from Burgas. I love that city. I graduated from the famous math school in Burgas. I was the first class in the informatics track. I became interested in informatics since I was like 12 years old. And yeah, I was studying a lot about computers back then. Then in 11th grade, I decided that I don't want to go to Sofia because I didn't like the city. So I started preparing to study abroad. I got accepted in Jacobs University in Bremen, Germany. It's a private American university, and it was a great experience. I again studied computer science there, and it was marvelous. It was the place where I learned that I'm able to take any work load I'm given. Maybe like there is one example I like to give to demonstrate just the amount of work that we had to do. Like in one of the classes on MATLAB, we had lectures on Thursday and Friday. Okay. And lectures started from 2 o'clock until 6 o'clock. And they gave us homework from Thursday until the other day. So we come back, we have dinner, we start doing the homework around 9 in the evening. We do it until the next day, no sleep at all, until 2 o'clock before the other lecture. Nobody is ready, and the professor is like, "Oh, really? Okay, I'll give you an extension until 12 tonight." So we did a lecture, and then back to the homeworks again.
Yeah. So you were well prepared for the MBA. Huh?
yeah, definitely. After the bachelor's degree, nothing came even close. And yeah, currently people are talking a lot about online education and stuff like that. And about learning, that would be fine. But the fellowship and the camaraderie which you get from a university where you are present and when you have your colleagues and go through the same tough situations together, the relationship and the bond that you develop there can be matched online.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So, what about afterwards?
So after that, I made a master's degree in the Federal Technical University in Zurich. I did a master thesis with Professor Bertrand Meyer, who is like the godfather of object-oriented programming. Very, very famous figure.
Indeed.
Then me and 3 other guys from Jacobs, decided to do a startup. And we were playing around with different ideas. We didn't really know what we were doing, but we had a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm. Most of the things that we did failed miserably. One of the ideas actually got some traction and became acquired by one of the biggest company in the United States non-profit sector, GuideStar. So When we
Okay.
got acquired, I stayed and worked for that company between 2 and 3 years, something like that. And
How much time have you developed the first successful? Because I assume it's successful when it's sold.
it was around a year and a half. We had a problem. We didn't really have a way to monetize the product, but the product was valuable, and that's why the bigger company acquired us to allow us to continue working on that.
Yeah.
I wasn't really happy working for a corporation or even a non-profit, and I was constantly looking about the next thing I can start. And then I met my current co-founder, Władysław Simov, with whom we started Domestina. Like, he had a little bit of a different idea in the beginning to create a marketplace for all sorts of services. And then I told him that we have the chicken and egg problem in a very, very serious way if we go broad. So I suggested to take the biggest vertical, which is cleaning, the most used service, and just start with it and see where it goes. And it turned out that cleaning is a huge enough service to have a company on its own.
Oh,
And
definitely.
yeah, and this is what we have been doing until now. We had a lot of interesting moments, a lot of hardship. We had some pivots. And currently, I think we have finally found our product market fit, and we are on the way to create a really great company.
Okay, so what is your latest pivot? What did you do to to adjust to the market?
So, in the beginning, we were focused only on housemates, which is the biggest service of them all. Like, many people use housemates on a regular basis. But it's a really peculiar service. It's mostly in the gray sector, where no taxes are paid whatsoever, so it's a little bit hard to compete with that. And on the other part, this is a service which everywhere in the world it is done by immigrants. Like, if you go to Germany, you will not be able to find a German housemaid. No. People like from Poland, from Ukraine, from Bulgaria, those people from these countries are doing those kinds of jobs. In the US, it's like Mexicans, Latin Americans, and only foreigners. In Bulgaria, we have a very particular situation that we don't have many foreigners. So actually, Bulgarians are doing these sorts of jobs, and they have a really bad image in society. So we have a huge demand for the service, and not enough people to serve it. And this is what made us like move into other directions. So then we decided to try and move into professional clinics. And this is like the current state of the company, where we serve as a marketplace where we connect the cleaning companies and the users. And we make it much more efficient both for the companies and for the users to find each other and to get a good service.
As a client, I can verify. Already.
I'm happy with you too.
Cool.
All right, thanks, Nikki. So this leads us to the next question. What was the main driver behind Domestina and behind your first startup company? And I can't resist here to cite a very interesting book I'm currently reading for Brewdog, which is UK craft beer. And here is the quote: "You need to ensure you're starting a business for the right reasons. If you just want to make money and be a big shot, go join a desperate corporate. Sell your soul to the devil and be yet another rat race contestant in an expensive suit."
A little bit extreme.
Just a little bit.
It's in a book. It's a funny book. So I recommend it to anyone. But yeah, your drivers.
First, I'll start with my driver to become a software engineer. Like, I became software engineer because I like to create things. I like to create things, and I like to see people use them. I wanna make something valuable and share it with the world. I wanna see like how I make somebody's life easier. So this is why I became an engineer, and this like very directly leads to why I would want to become an entrepreneur, because at least in the beginning of the enterprise, you have a very direct feedback from the customer. You code for a week, you release it, and immediately you see clients interact with it and use it and give you feedback. And this is a really, really cool dynamic. Like, especially when you see a happy customer, there is nothing more energizing for me than that.
Great. All right, so back to the corporate versus entrepreneurial smaller startup. As myself, I work in a big corporation. I love working in a big corporation as I like the vast amount of things that you can do and that you can impact. And my question will be, as I also respect a lot the entrepreneurial spirit and the knack of trying new things and trying to solve some problems, we currently do so. We are trying to do so with this podcast. What do you think? How much you can impact and how much clout you can get on society in a startup, and also what is the difference in a big corporation?
It's a really, really good question. I have given it some thought. And like, let's take an example for a second. Like, imagine if you're the CEO of Mercedes or BMW, and if you're Elon Musk. Who would you say has more like impact on humanity right now? And I think the answer is obvious. And maybe there is a difference that when you're an entrepreneur, you're really trying to push the world forward, and that's really hard. And because the world doesn't really want to go forward, and that's why so many startups fail. It's really, really hard to create something new which changes the way people behave. And big corporations have a very, very huge impact, but they like keeping the status quo. They like keeping the world running on the same way. And entrepreneurs are trying to push it out of the way and drive it in another direction.
So steady improvements against the
revolutionary.
I love your example because Elon Musk somehow managed to keep the entrepreneurial spirit even in the companies that are so big now. Like he has thousands and thousands of employees, but still keeps the entrepreneurial breakaway innovation spirit.
It's really marvelous.
By the way, Tesla is now worth more than Mercedes. So
I think
they doubled their stock value or something.
That guy really knows what he's doing.
And not only Tesla, but before that,
Totally.
PayPal and so on. So, our next question. In our MBA program, I was impressed by Niki's presentation skills. He was making really beautiful slides that were instantly recognizable. In the entrepreneurship world, presentation is definitely essential. But my question is, could an outstanding presentation deceive a botched product or an idea? My question is inspired by a book that I've read recently, Bad Blood, which is a book for an aspiring entrepreneurship, a very bright and persuasive lady who got a brilliant idea but couldn't deliver. So,
well, first thing first, about the presentation skills. Currently, we live in a time where we have so much money going around. Like, especially in Silicon Valley, there is just a huge amount of venture capital out there. So having the skill to raise money is extremely important. Like, if you don't, your competitors will, and by sheer volume will be able to crush you. So being able to raise capital is paramount. But capital, of course, is not all. It's all about execution. And the particular example, I still haven't read the book. I have bought it on my Kindle device, but I haven't read it yet.
It's very compelling, by the way. I liked it a lot.
We saw the short version, but I think it's more to it.
For sure, it's not black and white, but still, you need to have good intentions. I mean, you need to not authenticity. The word is
maybe my input on this particular case is that you should believe in the product, you should believe in the thing that you're doing, but then the reasoning behind it, like, are you trying to really solve a problem, or you're going to the shiny thing that will bring money? Like, are you a marketer or are you an entrepreneur? Because I see this mixed all the time, even now, because online it's really easy to make business. You can sell all kinds of, I cannot say, uncensored word, but in the end, too little of those make real value, like something that you can take with yourself. So basically, your case reminds me of the real entrepreneurial spirit. Like, you thought of a problem, you didn't thought of what would sell good, right? You thought of what problem could I solve.
Exactly. Like, this is who I am. I mean, if you tell me, like, come and work and create a great algorithm who would be like trading on Wall Street for 40,000 times a second and will make a lot of money, but you will not make any value. I mean, you will not make the world a better place.
But like execution is also
execution is the most important thing.
Exactly,
like, even if you don't have money, like in my company, when we spent all our capital, we became the most creative we have been. So actually having no money is has benefits on its own.
I remember when you said that now when we spent our capital, it's time for the wartime heroes, to really move the juices. All right, so as we like to focus a lot on leadership, we have a traditional question, which is, what is your recipe for leadership growth? How do you continue to grow as a leader?
I think I have found the way I grow since I was like in high school. I seem to thrive and to get the best of the environment I put myself in. So when I went to the math high school, I was not good at math at all. I was really bad at it. But for 4 years I was working really, really hard. I was seeing all of my classmates who were working really, really hard, and in the end I was able to qualify for the national competition in informatics and in mathematics, and that was great. Then in the university, again, we were a lot of highly motivated people, and the culture was really that of hard work. Like, if you don't write your homework, other people are looking at you like you're some kind of trash. And it's not like in Studentsky Grad, right?
That's a good way of peer pressure.
Then again, in the MBA, again, I was in a room with some very, very bright people who are growing and who are doing their best to improve, and I really learned a lot from you guys. So this is the way I
likewise.
Grow.
Maybe even more.
I like to put myself in a situation with a lot of smart people who can pull me up.
So I don't know how much you're familiar with the growth mindset and the concepts behind it, but you just explained at least half of it. Like the lack of entitlement and the positioning of your qualities being not bright person or not like very handsome or not the best mavashigeri in the world, but the hard worker. This is what makes you exceptional and what defines your growth in the future. Great.
But besides, he was the most handsome guy now. So joke aside, let's go to a more fun part of our conversation. I know you're a karate instructor. I know some other details which I will not share here, but I perceived, since you're an instructor in karate, I perceived this a serious leisure, which was a subject that we discussed with Kal a couple of episodes before. So my question is, what attributes from the karate practice you're able to transfer to your leadership style?
Yeah, it's related to the previous question. Like, karate was created for self-defense. Right now, it's more of a self-improvement. So you can train karate for life. You can improve your technique for life. You can do the same movement over and over again and continue to find ways to improve it. And if you can do that in karate, of course you can do that in business and in management and in leadership. Like, how to be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't do karate competitions. I just try to improve myself. And this is something very important which you can do in all aspects of life.
Definitely.
Great. By the way, I found the same profound answer that when you get back a little bit from the competitions and you focus on the act itself, it really starts to be crisp and clear on what are the basics that you need to improve, so you can improve all of it on top of that. And there is a Japanese technique in which it states that if you want to be a master, if you want to achieve mastery, you should do the simplest things every day.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah, so the same principle, I see that in so many ways. As I also was an engineer before I became a leader of many engineers, I see that the basics, like why do we do that, and just ask ourselves some simple questions over and over again brings better results each cycle. And yeah, it relates in a spectacular way. Cool. So I have one extra question for Nikki. Yeah. So since you are a man that always challenge yourself and you always find something next to do, what is your next challenge? What can you do after an EMBA, being a black belt in karate,
master,
and studying abroad, founding a company? What's next? Is there something that can challenge you?
Insight.
Well, the next challenge is actually the challenge that you're dealing with right now.
It was my secret intent.
Of course. Starting a family, and that would be, I guess, the greatest challenge of all.
Yeah, great to hear. So from my personal experience, each day comes with the new rank, like with the new dan. So you don't have a book for that.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really challenging, but at the same time, really fulfilling. You see a person growing up in front of you.
And you can shape it.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. It's like a dove in your hands, and you have so high responsibility towards this small person.
So I can't wait for the next episode with you, and we will share some more on that. On that channel.
I hope I'll have a lot of good news by then.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so Nikki, thanks a lot for the marvelous interview that we did today.
Thank you for having me here.
It was a great pleasure. So thanks for all the people that are listening and watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share the content. Let's bring our growing nation together, and see you next time.
Thank you, guys. See you.
Thank you.